let's get into it. So I pretty much just want to go over my pre-market game plan going into tomorrow and a little bit of a market recap today of today's session. So as always, I'll keep this quick and simple. So before getting into it, I really want to say like we are living, in historic times, as we all know. And, these are times in the market where this is how you grow your account. It kind of reminds me of the COVID days, to be honest, just when we were just in a straight up bull market, right? So today, right, like I've been emphasizing on SPY, we're only looking for pullback long entries. This is not a stock that we want to short, right? This is how you grow your account. I mean, we get a pull back to a key level and price just rallies the entire day. And then we're almost up into making, another all-time high, right? So coming into tomorrow, right? All we're looking for is a break and retest over 672.68, right, to the upside, or a pullback long off the 669.20. And if we fell under here, we're just looking for a pullback long off the 667.35. So I've shown this image before, and I'll do it again, right? Does this look like something we want to short? I mean, this is really unreal, right? We are just literally in a bull market trending to the upside. So, if you there's always ways to make money in the market. If you're, shorting on quick scalps, do what works best for you. But the trend is your friend, and that's a very real thing. So we're really just looking for pullback long entries, really on the overall market, right here on Qs, right? Beautiful. So we finally broke outside of this range, right? After we ended up getting a break and retest over 607.15, right? This is the real trade, right? There are maybe some people who, look to short this name coming into today. This is price action that I don't want to be a part of. Big wicks, big candles. That's a lot of volatility. Now, as you can see, as soon as we broke over, got a clean retest, look how clean price action was, and we gravitated higher. So coming into tomorrow, really, I want to see 607.15 hold, a break and retest over previous day high, looking for more continuation higher. And if we fell under this previous day low, right, as you know, I'm only looking for pullback long entries. You can see the 602.87 being highly respected on the higher time frame. So if we fell under 607 and we do have a bear day, I'm really just looking for a pullback long entry off this key level. Tesla, I mean, really beautiful. I mean, textbook. If you watched the pre-market game plan video yesterday, literally happened to the T of what I wanted to happen on Tesla. I said the only way I'm looking to go short is under this 423.15, right? Not really looking to short this name. I do like longs over 436.30 or pullback long because it was a good RR trade, about a $10 gap, or a break and retest over this 445, and we got both of those things today. So textbook here on Tesla. I did not take this trade because I already had taken a trade on NVIDIA. I'll make a separate video for that. And I'm very big on really being one and done, right? I don't want to give my profits back to the market. I took an A+ setup and I closed the charts. But game plan, right? Beautiful. Pull back long off of 436.30 to the upside. As you can see, this was pretty much the main entry here. And then, right, we got a break, retest, and the continuation to the upside here today on Tesla. So that was textbook. That was beautiful. Like I said, this is not really a name that I'm looking to short, right? This is why it's very important to zoom out because on the higher time frames, Tesla's still moving higher. It's still moving higher. So coming into tomorrow, right? What are we looking for? Pull back long off of 445, targeting the top of this range, or a break and retest over 463.20, targeting the top of that range. Pretty much all-time highs. Now, this has already occurred, right? This was my game plan coming into last week. So if Tesla wants to gap up above this 463 like it did here, same thing. If we gap up, I'm just looking for a dip and rip, right? A gap and go, pretty much just a pullback long off this 463.20, targeting all-time highs. If that sets up, right, you can look to scale out here and then hold some into all-time highs. Like I've said before, we know Tesla. When Tesla wants to go, it will go. But as of now for Tesla, just looking for pullback longs on this name. Now, here I do have a short under 436.30. Like I've said before, I never come into the day with a bias. I never marry a bias. So if we fall under this, the reason I do like it is one, it is a good RR trade, right? That is a good dollar amount to the downside. We would be under a previous day low, and we would have turned a key support level into a resistance. So those three things are a good confluence for me. And right, we wouldn't be in this channel, right? We wouldn't be in that channel. We'll be trading under that channel. So that's something that I really do like. So if that sets up, I'm open to that. Really for a quick scout, looking for continuation to the bottom of this range, but I would not be holding that. I'm looking for further continuation to the downside. But overall, the main two key levels coming into tomorrow is a pullback long off this 445 or a break and retest over this 463.20, targeting all-time highs. AMD. So really nothing here, at least for me. Nothing here at all. If you would have traded this on the intraday, that would have been crazy because I know the IV was through the roof. And this was just really a news catalyst play. It came out something with AI and AMD. So there's really nothing here for me on AMD on the higher time frames. News invalidates technical analysis, right? So this was not a technical analysis move, right? As you can see, this is like really the power of news, right? Look at NVIDIA. I mean, I'm sorry, AMD. All this consolidation slowly making its way higher, and then news comes out, and then boom, we just gap up, making all-time highs, and so on. So not really looking to trade this name. I'm just looking for price, I guess, just to develop over the next couple of days. Now, one thing I do like here, which is a possibility, but it's really not going to be on my close watch, is really a break and retest. If we get this under previous day low, targeting this gap fill, right? This is an objective in the market, so that's something I do like, right? This would be a good RR trade. But then again, this was a big news catalyst. The overall market is still moving higher, still making all-time highs. So I'm just patient here on AMD. I'm just going to let price develop over the next couple of days and just see what, I guess, what occurs, right? But there's really nothing here, at least for me, right? If you want to look for any intraday setups, by all means do so. But as for now, I'm pretty much hands off on the same. NVIDIA. So I'll make a separate video on this. I ended up going long on NVIDIA, right? Our pre-market game plan was a pullback long off this 184.50. right? That was the pre-market game plan coming into today. So same deal tomorrow. A pullback long off this 188, off this 184.50, targeting the top of this range, or a break and retest over 188.15, targeting all-time highs. Now, I would really prefer the break and retest over this 188.15 because as you can see, right, now we're starting to sit a little bit, right? Now we're starting to create a channel in here, a zone in here. But today was this was a good thing on Nvidia, right? We ended up holding, right, this weekly resistance turn support. That was very big, right? Remember, this was resistance and we can never get above this, right? We broke above, right? Retested today, bodies forming above this key level. This is a very big hold on Nvidia. Coming into today, I said, right, if we short under this, right, and we retest this is a break of structure to the downside, right? So this was a big hold, not the best price action today, but if you got long here off this name, that was a really good shot. So same deal tomorrow, right? A pullback long off this 188.4, 184.50, targeting top of this range, and preferably a break and retest over 188.15, targeting all-time highs. Apple, right? So Apple's a tricky one, but it's intact, right? We are not looking to short this name. The reason I say Apple is tricky is because on the intraday, honestly, it's just really not the best name, right? It's kind of slow on the underlying, and it chops you out a lot. So one thing I've learned about Apple is on the intraday, it would stop you out and would chop around, but your thesis that you build around this trade, it is fulfilled on the higher time frames. Now, we're looking at the 15-minute time frame. Look at these candles, right? Very wicky, very choppy. That's expected on Apple, but we are still intact towards all-time highs, right? So what I'm looking for on Apple coming into tomorrow, right, is a break, retest over 257, targeting all-time highs, or a pullback long off this 253.90, targeting the top of this range and all-time highs, right? I am not looking to short Apple unless we fall under 250.85. If you look at the key levels here, right, every time price pulls back into them, right, buyers are defending this very aggressively, pushing this thing higher. So coming into tomorrow, right, let's look at this because this happened now 2 days in a row. Let's break this down. You can see 257.35 is a key level here, right? Every time buyers get above this level, price is pushed higher. As you can see, there is a lot of sellers sitting in here, right? Here, this was Friday's previous day high, right? Pre-market, and then today's previous day high. Coming into tomorrow, this will be today's previous day high. So there are sellers sitting in here, right? A lot of sellers sitting in here. So we don't want to be going long off a previous day high into all-time highs. That's a bad RR trade, right? So for me, coming into tomorrow, what's a good RR trade, right? A break and retest over 257.35, targeting top of this range. You can scale out here at previous day high, and then hopefully price can continue higher into all-time highs. But like I said, not looking to short this name, just looking for pullback long entries here. So once again, break and retest over 257.35, targeting all-time highs, or right, a pullback long off of 253.90. So Palantir, right? This is why, I mean, I can't emphasize this enough. Just zooming out on the higher time frames, right? This is pretty amazing if I'm being honest, right? We had this big sell-off, this very big sell-off, and we've already really filled more than half of that, right? One day, big sell-off, more barely in one day, right? We've already fulfilled more than half of that sell-off. Now, in my pre-market plan video yesterday, I said if we break and retest above 177.05, I like that to the upside only because there is a lot of thin volume in here that has to get filled, right? And as you can see, that happened today, right? We got a break, retest to the upside. Now, I was hands off in here. Reason for that being is, as you know, I do not trade channels. I stay away from them, right? So on the higher time frame, right? Let's zoom out here on the daily, right? This is nothing I want to be in, right? I don't want to be anywhere in here, right? But if you would have taken your trade off this 177.05, right? That was a good long entry, right? Price pretty much pushed back up into the top of this range. Now, coming into tomorrow on Palantir, right? I'm looking for either a short under 177.05. The reason I like that is, as you can see here, right? This level is being respected very well. So there's a confluence here. Not only is this a daily support level now, this is also a previous day low. So a break and retest under that, right? Look at the RR on this trade. Look at the potential downside. I like that, right? For me, this is a no trade zone for obvious reasons. Let's look at this on the 1 hour, right? I don't want anything to do in here. And then if we can get a break and retest over this 177.05, right? Because higher time frame is intact. I like that, targeting the top of that range, which is a good RR, almost a $45 gap, and then hopefully pricing gravitates towards this all-time high.